Today we're speaking to Andrew T. Austin, or Andy Austin, and it's just absolutely fantastic to be speaking to him today. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Nadia.
And I'm all hot and flustered, to be honest with you, because we just walked up a massive hill.
It wasn't me.
But it was good. It's just, we're in Arundel.
Arundel in West Sussex.
Oh, and it's just gorgeous here. So anyway, let's talk more about you than me and how hot I am, because I'm going to cool down. So I noticed that you're doing a lot of different things on your website. We talked a little bit about India. You're going to India. You're doing a lot of work here in the UK as well. And I wanted to speak more actually about your drama workshop that's in New York.
Yeah.
Can you, what is that, improvisation? What is that?
Improvisation. Here was one of the things I saw on television. I'm not a great fan of watching television, but there's one show that stands out.
Which one
and
is
that
it?
is Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, okay.
We have a British version over here, and you guys have a fantastic set of comedians that are on stage over there.
Yeah.
I always thought it was scripted. I looked at that, and I used to enjoy the show, but I
Why
thought...
did you think that? Because I never
they're
thought
too
that.
good.
Really?
They're too
okay,
good.
Yeah.
People throw things out from the audience.
They are good. Yeah.
And yet every time they seem to have this rapport, this thing going on, and it's always entertaining.
Yeah.
And so rarely do they get lost.
Yeah.
They don't seem to get lost in words
Right.
or lost in the story that they're...
And it is kind of on your spot thinking, isn't it? So yeah, that's good.
So I went around telling everyone it's scripted. And then I met a guy, he's an actor, he said, no, it's not. So you have to understand, they're following a formula. The content itself is made up on the spot. But they've almost got algorithms, like a formula, like a strategy they follow. I thought, ooh, this is like content-free stuff.
That's interesting.
So they have a blueprint to follow, and you can insert the content. So I got some books on improv. I started talking to people who did improvisation. I got some training materials on improvisation, and basically learned the formula that they follow.
That's fascinating.
Now,
Wow.
here was the thing I discovered. In therapy, I'm a therapist.
Yes.
So many people in therapy, the therapist sits there being very indifferent
Yeah.
and emotionally unresponsive.
Yeah.
And they kind of have this kind of... It's like something from the Village of the Damned.
Oh yeah.
You know, the Stepford Wives.
Yeah.
And they try and be a certain way, and yet there's no... The client has their own drama. They have this drama thing that they're living that's a problem for them. It's why they're in therapy.
Right.
A lot of the stuff has rules. There are patterns of interaction. They wake up every day, it's still a problem for them.
Right.
They go to the therapist, and the therapist is
Yeah.
from the Village of the Damned.
Yeah.
I kind of figure the thing that changes people the most is when they stop the play, the rules, the script. They have a life script.
Yeah.
When they change the script, they change the players in the drama. Their life starts to change.
Yeah.
I always like to add drama to my sessions. Too many sessions are just as unemotive as the therapist can make them. I add emotive stuff to the sessions. I looked at what was happening in psychiatric settings. And in psychiatric settings, you have crazy people who don't follow the rules of therapy.
Right.
They do their own stuff.
Right.
They improvise brilliantly. Now, if you know the rules of improv, you can interact with the crazy stuff
God, that's
and
clever.
won't be tripped up by people's psychosis.
Yeah.
So this is what the workshop's about.
Yeah.
Working in crazy environments where people don't follow the rules of the local culture.
That's fantastic. What were you going to say?
Yeah, offices
Yeah.
have a culture.
Yeah.
Different employers have employment settings have different cultures.
Yeah.
They may do similar work. We go from this one to this one, and the culture changes.
It's a smooth transition, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Psychiatric hospitals also have their own unique culture. I noticed a lot of stuff about patients is they don't fit into it. They don't fit into the culture.
Exactly. Totally opposite.
The staff are going, hey, hang on, we're doing it according to the rules here.
Right.
But that guy, that psychotic, that depressive, doesn't fit into the...
Yes.
So I thought, let's open up some flexibility here
Yes.
and give people a set of tools they can follow in order to work with these people. So that's what the
That's
workshop's
genius. That is genius. Fantastic. And very well explained too. Very good.
Thank you.
I think I have a very thorough understanding of what you're doing. I absolutely love it. Okay, so you're doing that. And also, is that to do with something about the cuckoo's nest, which seems like it might be another book brewing, no?
There is indeed. There's actually several books brewing. Whether they get published or written to be published is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Lessons from the Cuckoo's Nest is a weekend workshop. The next one we're doing of that is actually in New York in April. Now, what this is basically further tales from a neurolinguist journal.
Yeah.
So I'm continuing the theme of the rainbow machine.
Yeah.
And taking more sort of experiences and exercises to teach people the patterns that I work with in working with people with serious psychiatric disorders.
Right.
So it's ways of working with people who typically don't present to private practice, which is where many NLPers find themselves working.
Yeah.
They're either in some form of coaching, some form of change work,
Yes,
some form
yes.
of mentorship or therapeutic kind of stuff. So there's a whole section of people who need help
That's
and
right.
report for help
That's
that
right.
actually go to other avenues. So they end up in
Yes.
psychiatric settings, they end up in long-term chronic support groups, or similar kind of environments.
Yeah.
So this is based on my work in working with people with very serious and chronic
Yes.
disorders.
Yes. Yes.
And it's an area that I've noticed that too many NLPers prefer to stay away from.
Yes. Yes.
There's a slight concern, what trouble am I going to get into if I start working with people with serious problems? What about the medication?
Yeah.
Is that going to impede the work in working with
Yeah.
people? Will not the psychiatrist then get unhappy that I'm working
Yeah.
with their patient? So we're going to cover those kind of issues in
Well,
the
let's talk
workshop.
a bit more about that, because you're really broaching on a fantastic topic which doesn't get spoken about that much in NLP, I think. Sort of Bandler has done a lot of talks and stuff about the schizophrenic patients and what he did to help the schizophrenic patients, and also from Milton Erickson's work. There's stories about schizophrenic patients. But these days, typically, as you say, a lot of the NLPs are doing change work, and they're doing a lot of coaching and maybe consulting or mentoring, that kind of work too. But as you say, there's still a need. What can NLPs do? I know that you have a training, actually, which helps people get NHS work, doesn't it? And also write proposals for doctors so that they can get accepted on some type of, is it insurance plan?
There's all sorts of legalities people need to consider.
But let's put that to aside for a moment. What can you say to NLPs about that? Because you're more qualified than anybody at the moment.
One of the dreams that so many people have when they go into they do their NLP training, and they then want to set themselves up as a therapist. My number one thing to people is they need to read what's actually on the certificate. And an NLP practitioner certificate or an NLP master practitioner certificate isn't a psychotherapy training certificate.
I do hear a lot of people using the term therapist here quite a bit.
Yeah. I understand over in the States, to be a therapist has certain legal requirements.
Yeah.
To be a coach, to be a trainer has different connotations. But over here, that we don't have those legal distinctions. I have a suspicion that it's going to happen certainly within the next 10 years. There will be some degree of regulation. I'm not entirely sure how that will be a good thing.
Yeah.
But for me, an issue that I see a lot is too many NLPs then try and be a therapist. And they wonder why that GPs, consultants, medical professionals don't take them seriously.
Right.
When someone's done 7 years of just basic training to get into the field in which they've specialised in, and then they meet someone who's done 7 days training, and the 7-day trainee has got a lot of attitude, has got a lot of get up and go, got a lot of drive, but they're not taken seriously by.
Right.
There's kind of almost like a resentment.
Yeah.
A lot of practitioners will they get the practitioner certificate, they want to set up in practice, they put an advert in the paper, they then write to the local GPs and go, hi, I'm an NLP practitioner and I know where to tap with the hammer, so send me your difficult clients.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, GPs aren't the clearinghouse for private therapists making money.
And aren't GPs sort of